Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Golden State Warriors are headed to the NBA Finals. Congratulations to Dub Nation, everybody out there in San Francisco Bay Area. This is your time. It's been a couple years, about 3 years since you guys have been there, I think. But um, you're back in a position to capture a title, and it's not bad. It's good for the league to see the Splash Brothers back. Um, And boy, did the Splash Brothers show up. Klay Thompson had 8 threes on the night. He's back to his normal self. Just like I told you in the pre-game, I didn't think it was going to be much longer before we see the real Klay Thompson again. He's been struggling quite a bit, but he's been having good second halves. So eventually, that's just going to equate to him, hitting shots again. And it all came together tonight. He was Klay. he was Klay Thompson. Simple as that. That's the pinnacle right there. You don't have to compare him too far. He's one of the best shooters ever. That's Klay Thompson. Um, you want to give credit to Jordan Poole. He had a really good game tonight. It's Kevon Looney, man, 18 boards, and they won the rebounding total by 18. So, that's what we've been talking about on this channel for almost 2 series now. Is the Golden State Warriors just basically out rebounding everybody in front of them, with the exception of the last game. They've won the rebounding total just about every game. So you got to give credit to them for just pressing the Kevon Looney button and him just continuing to show us what type of talent he has in not only rebounding the ball, but passing the ball, scoring the ball, defending. He's been fantastic in this series. Steph Curry got MVP of the Western Conference Finals, which is a brand new award that I've never seen them give anyone. This is the first time they've given that award out. And to be completely honest with you, I thought it should have gone to Kevon Looney. I thought he was the real difference. Now, granted, Steph Curry was, he's the head of the snake. I mean, you can't even mention the Golden State Warriors without mentioning him historically. And he had a great series. He was himself. he was Steph Curry. But I think that as I said, I nicknamed Kevon Looney the trump card because he was the difference in this series. If you remove him from this series, Dallas is probably taking this thing to Game 7, maybe even win the series. Because what basically did them in was the fact that they had no answer for Kevon, who was rebounding the ball like crazy. So that's going to be the story for the Dallas Mavericks. Go get themselves a big. You got to give credit to Spencer Dinwiddie. He's had an up and down playoffs, to say the least, but he's closed it out with 4 straight good games. Him and Jalen Brunson had a good playoffs ultimately all together. Brunson didn't really have it going tonight scoring the ball. They really needed him to have it, and he just didn't. Bad night to go cold, but that's what happened. And that was it, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Between Luka Doncic, of course, being Luka, at 28 points. He was tired. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 28 points. And then Spencer had 27 points. And that was it. Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, had 13. Nobody else did anything for the Dallas Mavericks at all, offensively. So they were just a team that was just undermanned to begin with. And they didn't have enough to go up against the Golden State Warrior team. They stretched this thing out to 5 games, and I thought that was fantastic for them. I think they should be ecstatic about how they ended their season. They overachieved like crazy. Nobody expected them to be here. They weren't supposed to win anything at all, and yet here they are, finding themselves in the Western Conference Finals, having won a game. So that's a big deal, man. I congratulate them tremendously, and they didn't mail it in. They had their ups and downs, they had their struggles, but all in all, they fought. They fought hard. They gave themselves a respectable opportunity even in this game. It got out of hand, but they found a way to cut it. They cut into it real good, had a nice long scoring run in that third quarter that made this game respectable. So you're going to remember the Dallas Mavericks as a team that didn't have enough, but if they did, they would have did a lot. So I'm not mad at them. They just need to go find themselves a couple more players to go along with what they already have, and I think they're going to have a great future. But right now it's about the Golden State Warriors. The Dubs are back. The Splash Brothers look good. For the most part, they're pretty healthy, with the exception of GP2. Obviously, I did mention something about Steph Curry tweaking his ankle and Draymond and his wrist. But at this time of year, everybody's hurt. I think the most important thing you understand is they don't have to play basketball again until June 2nd. They don't have to play again. So all this basketball they've been playing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, the Dubs can finally take a breather and strategize, which is going to be extremely necessary. Come up with all kinds of different plans for the Celtics, of whom I expect them to see. The Miami Heat could very well come back and win the series. It's only going to take 2 games to do it, but they look so beat and out of it. They look even more so out of it at the end of this game, at the end of that game than the Dallas Mavericks did at the end of the previous game they played. So I think the Heat are in for a tough road ahead, and so I'm just going to assume the Celtics, the team that I feel the better team, it's going to be the final matchup. And if that's the case, boy, I am looking forward to this one. Not from a Lakers standpoint, because this is devastating if the Celtics do in fact get in there, but the fact of the matter is the matchup itself, it could be one of the best ones we've seen in a while. I think the Celtics and the Golden State Warriors had the potential to be really, really, really good. So looking forward to it if it does indeed happen. But for the time being, you got to give credit to the Golden State Warriors. Now, if you want to nitpick, Andrew Wiggins has struggled from behind the arc, I guess, if that's something that matters to you in a game like this. But they run the rebounding total. That's what they needed to do. They did what they need to do scoring the ball. Obviously, they shot high percentages all up and down the entire game. And withstood that run that I was talking about. They did a very good job withstanding what the Dallas Mavericks threw at them. And Steve Kerr deserves credit. He got around to calling some guys up that hadn't played in the series. Bjelica showed that he could really give them something. I think the projection going forward is that the Golden State Warriors can use just about everybody they have available and feel confident that they can get something out of it. With the exception of Juan Toscano-Anderson, who only got like maybe a minute in this game, we've seen good things out of just about every person rostered on the Golden State Warriors within this 5-game stretch of play. So that is very encouraging. They bought themselves some rest, as I said, for Draymond Green, which I felt was very important going into these finals. They used their bigs wisely, and everybody's, I think, is ready for the most part. They'll rest up and be ready for the finals. So this is ideal if you're the Golden State Warriors, to say the least. I mean, this is what your dreams are about. You want to get back to this point. You walk away for a couple years while injuries took over, but your front office did everything they were supposed to do to align the timeline with those guys coming back and the rebuilding, and everything that they were trying to do in regards to that just fit perfectly. And you can see it right here, right now. The trade for Wiggins that they did 2 years ago paid off perfect right now. Drafting Looney 5-6 years ago and sitting on him in the way that they did, now it's paying off in these playoffs. Drafting Kuminga and Moody, giving them that depth and future. You can see those kids with their upside. Even the guys that they got, like Bjelica, like GP2, you know what I mean? Like Otto Porter Jr., who wasn't available tonight, who may probably be available for the finals. I think that the Golden State Warriors have done a fantastic job retooling. They are the pinnacle in this league at the moment in terms of franchises. Over the past, I'd say, decade, it's been them. And you gotta respect the dynasty, man. Coming from someone who witnessed a real dynasty, in my opinion, with Shaq and Kobe, and was born into a real dynasty with Kareem and those guys, Magic, Worthy. I think at the end of the day, you got to give credit to this particular dynasty, because these guys were able to withstand what most dynasties probably would not, and that's down years where they had to retool while keeping balance all of their Hall of Famers and keeping them paid and keeping them happy, and they managed to do it. And they're back in the finals, and they got a good chance to win it, a very, very good chance to win it. So that's what it is, man. I'm not salty about that as a Laker fan. I don't feel too much for the Golden State Warriors in terms of vitriol at all. I'm just a guy watching a team, I'm pretty neutral as it pertains to them. With that being said, I'm going to be one of the biggest Warrior fans you've ever seen in your entire life for the next 3 weeks while between now and the finals ending, because I need absolutely need them to beat the Celtics. Now, if it's the Heat, I don't care. If it's the Heat, let them duke it out. I'll just sit back and watch. I don't care. But the Celtics, yeah, we're very serious about them not getting championship number 18 before we do. And it's nothing personal to the players. I like every player that they got on that team, to be honest with you. I hate the fact that they're Celtics. If I'm getting completely honest with you, if they were all Grizzlies, I'd be rooting for them. But that is not how this works. I'm a Laker for real, and we do not appreciate anything green unless it's money or recreational stuff that you ain't got to talk about right now. I'm telling you that I'm going to be rooting for the Warriors, so just be prepared for that. If I sound a little biased when the Celtics are winning or down when the Celtics are winning or up when the Warriors are winning, just be prepared for that, because my Lakerdom runs deep, and I don't think I'm going to be very biased when they're in the finals. No, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think so. But I'll try. I'll do my very best. I'll give you my very best. I'll tell you exactly what I see. I won't cap based on my feelings, but I won't lie about those feelings. So it is what it is, man. That's what it's about. Right now, the Golden State Warriors are going to the finals. And, it's going to be jump in. I'd imagine they have home court advantage. I haven't checked, though. Now that I think about it, I don't know who has the better record between them or the Celtics or them and the Heat. I don't know. They might be starting the series on the road, and that matters. So we won't do any breaking down of that series or those series by any stretch of the imagination until we know what the final outcome will be there. Especially since I picked the Heat to win the series anyway. Might as well play it out. But I was wrong about the Dallas series, man. I had the Golden State Warriors winning it in 6. It didn't take that long. It did not take that long. Dallas just did not have enough to rebound with the Golden State Warriors. They could have shot with them, to be honest with you. We saw that in the previous game. They have the shooting power, and Luka Doncic is a real star for sure. He's got some growing up to do, and he's got some assets to acquire in terms of young talent to play with. He's gonna need them to get him some real talent. To be honest with you, he just ain't enough. Brunson's cool, Dinwiddie's cool. Some of those guys we thought were better than they are. Once it came down and showing us what time it is in the playoffs, some of them, they were just kind of average, man. And this is Luka Doncic, man. He needs to have A1 superstar teammates, or at least a deep team like the Celtics around him. If you give him something like that, that boy gonna start counting rings straight up. Jewelry will be coming his way. But not this year. Not this year. No, this is the year of the Warriors and one of those 2 Eastern Conference teams. And we're all going to live with that. So that's pretty much it, man. I don't feel like breaking down that game. When series end, I don't know if you guys notice this, but when series end, I don't be wanting to break down the games. It's just pointless. There's no reason to take forth the information we just got, but to carry it over into another series as to which matchups are going to be different. So as soon as this series ends, the Dallas is in the past, and I don't care nothing to break them down or none of that, unless we're talking about how they're going to rebuild their team. Because what's the point? When you really think about it, the series is over, and you know for a fact, not all 12 of those guys are going to be back on the same team next year. It's just not happening. So, the Golden State Warriors had a great game. I think they had like 5 players in double figures. You know what they can do. You know who they are. And they had great games tonight. And now it's just about resting up and getting their minds prepared for what is going to be one of the toughest NBA finals of their entire lives, in my humble opinion. They've had some massive battles against LeBron James. I think you're going to see a different type of attack than any of those Laker teams, Cavaliers or Heat teams. It's going to be a different type of attack because the way the Boston Celtics play the defensive side of the ball and the type of problems that Jason Tatum poses when he gets into his zone, it's a different beast than Luka Doncic. I'll tell you that. Luka does not provide the defensive problems that those stars are going to provide this team. And if the Heat somehow bring it, I can't even see it because they're so beat up and so hurt. If they don't find a way to get 100% healthy between now and tomorrow, they're going home either way. That's just how that is, man. And if they find a way to scrap it out and they somehow get to the finals, if they can't get healthy, then they're not beating the Warriors either. So that's just what it is, man. We could talk about a bunch of other stuff, but at the end of the day, health wins over. And right now, the Golden State Warriors are very, very much doing well in that conversation, with the exception of GP2, of course. So, yeah, man, that's what it is. That is it. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.